Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randy. We are playing more Phoenix Wright. Now that someone else has been arrested for Goodman's death, except he was murdered in two places. Things are getting real weird. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in two different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how did it go? And since Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? How? Like, I get she's a lawyer, but like, the fact that she's doing this shit without her lawyer there, but then was like, get Mia Fey to defend me, like, Lana. We agreed that if I told them the truth behind the simultaneous murders, they wouldn't see capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. I feel like... Here's my thing. I 1000% believe that Lana is covering up for someone. The question is, who? Because the thing is, right now, she very much has a way of getting at least a not guilty. Like, I feel like if it's like, there is nothing, like, it's only, like, the picture, but in the instance, like, we don't see a face. I'm thinking it was that number that was in between, but we don't have Lana to tell us whose number that is. But Lana, don't tell me you. Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. Is she covering for Jake? Here's the thing. I can see that. I can see it. Like, she's not covering for Jake, but there is a blackmail component to it. Because that would make sense. Jake killed Goodman because they found out something. Or maybe that Edgeworth was right, or something like that. And it was like, they were like, no, that there is something missing. And so Jake and Angel worked together. So Jake killed her. Then they blackmailed Lana somehow into getting her to dispose of the body. And that's when Angel got it. And then it was like, this is what happened. That's kind of what I'm leaning with right now. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to deny my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Here's the thing. I love the investigative aspect of this. And again, I also know that there is an entire Edgeworth spin-off game. And I'm just really hoping that, like, the other games don't keep what I'm going to call Edgeworth's evil twin, aka Shitface Edgeworth. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... Huh? I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. That's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. No, messed up is when you have your client blackmailing you to get an acquittal. And that's messed up. This one is just weird, but I feel like it's going to make more sense. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence related to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day up to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Wait, is this Meekins?
Things are getting wild from the get-go.
It is Meekins. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is,
sir, I want you to call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir,
help me, sir.
Officer Meekins.
Yes, sir.
Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir. As you wish. You know what he reminds me of? I'm now realizing it. If you look at his face, if y'all ever watched Gretzko, like even just, I think it was season 1, maybe season 2, Anae. He was like kind of like not the weasel looking one that was always around the boss, but the other guy who was like straight out of college and was like very by the book. That's kind of who he's reminding me of. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Grab a point, sir.
That's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. A suspicious man on the security screen had rushed into the room. Only doing what we were trained to do. Suddenly attack. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Huh. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Don't tell these people that to you! That's Meekins' family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness?
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Okay, the biggest thing I want to focus on is the fact that he was assigned to work the evidence room, which very much feels like a setup. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not?
Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Yikes, now that's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir. I was sure it wasn't broken during the transfer or pass. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
Yes, because the Blue Badger is top priority. It sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Why did you relocate it? Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room? Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Oh, okay. I don't care about that. I want to know which officer smacked him upside the head. About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. According to a report from the officer who woke up the witnesses, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. Woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Whose handprint is on that? I wanted to check the handprint, and they wouldn't let me check the handprint. That handprint has to mean something.
Well, we can all rest easy now. This is what he was telling us yesterday. Well, we need to try and skim for more details. For starter, what was an officer from the General Affairs Department doing there in the first place? Alright, let's press him for what he's worth. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! This one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. Why was he in there twice? I see, huh. But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time was when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was during the second time when... Yeah, sir, that was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Damn it, there goes my entire thing. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't really look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun around and performed a disarming maneuver. Made sure to close my eyes like a man. See, he must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in the face, sir! Okay, we don't have anything that's necessarily going to be like... So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him looked like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You weren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. Swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept her cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regards to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief delivered it. What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. I got that spotted from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like the communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us a video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using the word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Wait. Okay, so... God, this feels like it's going to be... This just feels like it's analog horror. I love how everything is intentionally obfuscating his face. It is the funniest thing ever. God, this is so weird to watch. This just feels analog horror. It really does. I love the swivel back and forth. There has to be some... Wait, was that piece always sticking out there? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's a blue badger, sir.
Why am I surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and actively, Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Ooh, we're jumping into part 2. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. There's no question. He opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. What about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start.
I wonder if we should, like...
But you know for sure you never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in a video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had labeled your stares as disturbing, or...
Meekins. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife when he was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you were positive it was him.
Okay. We don't... I want to press this because
about these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They all respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he tried.
The man opened a locker's lock, which only responds to fingerprints to his registered... I don't know what I just said there. There must be the person the locker is assigned to. Exactly my point, sir. And that's too. Is there no way that you...
How do you know that information?
I heard rumors, sir, from people in the... No, sir.
People in the know.
The workers in the apartment cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir.
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
We don't have any evidence to contradict this, because the only evidence we have of anything... Let's just press everything.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video of the man's face.
Sir? If I may say something, sir, please do. After all, you were the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. And my unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yeah, should have done it. Point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the record again. I think there is. But I think I can go back. I do want to double check the footage, though. Okay, so on further inspection, it was something that I wasn't sure because I was too focused on the analog horror aspect of it. Or basically just feeling like something, like the blue badger was going to come to life and just like murder my face. But if you look, as it was going back and forth, it was panning to that locker with shit sticking out of it, where it wasn't sticking out in the beginning.
Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction.
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal expected. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out the problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. I could have done this the first time.
But please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching the video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where in the contradiction? Okay. So. Here. Oh. So, if we keep going, see, there's still nothing in that locker. There's nothing sticking out. Still nothing sticking out. Then all this whamma jamma happens. Then he's not there. And we come back. And it's there. Okay, so I need to go back. The handprint still bugs me. I think that's what we're supposed to get. I don't think we're supposed to get to the fact that something drops. God, again, there. Can we just play this for the rest of the time?
This thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Yes, it seems strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What are you looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
The fact that there was something there, then when he's gone, that was opened. Was that not it? That has to be one of the big things. Fuck you, Edgeworth. Okay, so as I was going through everything, I hit the wrong button. I pressed the wrong button.
Here we go. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction to that statement, Your Honor.
How exactly? Wait, was that not it? Shoot! I went too far. My bad. Okay, so I went too far because I was like, oh, Mystery Man, that's what this one is. And then it said to do that. And then I was like, this doesn't make... Okay. So what we need to do... Hold on. Nope, back. First thing is the fact that this door is lit up.
The thing that's strange is that gotta be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on, then the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's what I understand it is, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
I did not realize that when I was doing it. I was focused on the thing that was in the other one.
it was already lit up. Because if it was already lit up, it was already open, which means he didn't have to.
When the victim reaches for the handle to open a locker, let's rewind to a little earlier.
Because it was already unlocked.
Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Order! Order! What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker's locks are controlled by an electronic system. When the door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down.
Of course, I'm not an expert in this. It's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would have detected and reported any malfunction.
Oh, well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouth shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes, why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed a system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor, say. There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. We're gonna, like, kind of... I do love this entire thing of, like, finding the footage. Hold on.
Please watch closely. This is a continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
We lost the sound. Did we lose the... No! We lost the second best music in this game. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
Sir! It's been an experience that things fall out when doors are open. After Fallout and roll. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted? I'm so mad that we lost the Blue Badger music. That's such a travesty.
Oh god, wait. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene.
There might just have been something that fits the description.
Sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well, will the defense please prevent the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that's stuck in the locker door?
I found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that this was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to that. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is that not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir? It would appear so, sir. Order! Order! Order!
So we're to believe that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
This is a joke.
Very well, begin your testimony. Here we go. Now I know what to do. Because there's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman. You had to use an ID card. There's a record. The detective had just used his card. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. We still don't know about 420. The victim used it at 5:15. Is that of the victim? Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
These were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination. Now we present... Here's my thing. This is the one thing that concerns me. When we pull up this lost item report...
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not gonna waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here, and I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report, it's only half completed.
It shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense.
Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's arguments. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. We basically just proved the fact that, like... Because the case that we're dealing with is that Lana killed Goodman. And we just proved that because we proved that this guy was not Goodman. Fuck.
First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion.
If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. Huh? That is, I guess that's right? Something wrong, Mr. Wright. Only moments ago, you seemed content in pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, it seems you finally realize exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department on 5/15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Ms. Lana Sky, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. Trustworthy witness. Observe the moments the defendant used the murder weapon. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana!
What do I do? How am I supposed to get out of this mess?
We object. Of course we object. We play our trump card.
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not, but I almost walked it right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder.
But there is something slipped into that one locker, and that's still bugging me. I'm so mad that we don't have the
However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder of the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This might just be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean?
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh, who do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well, Mr. Wright. This person who you would have testify, what is his or her name?
Where's the hombre? Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edward know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel like we should hear what he has to say. Prosecution agrees to that. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
The court is now in recess.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? I hope I'm not interrupting anything, Bass. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, Gumshoe. Oh, wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. Hey, to top it off, you called me here. I'm seeing happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
Hey, you better be, pal. Hey, 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 Right. And see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
And never in a million years would I thought it was you who asked me. And could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I need them by noon. And talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident.
But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you. The chief prosecutor was a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness?
And take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you the stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
Emma, but why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name is in there. I don't know unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, the SL9 incident, is that?
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark... No, Lana! It's over with! No!
Emma, wait. She ran away.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence.
Knowing you, you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck.
I'd better take a good look at this file.
Do we do that this episode or next?
We do it next episode!
I'll see y'all then. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.